Faith is a word that is so frequently used in the religious world that it has become annoying. Now, notice this. We don't mean that we're annoyed at hearing about faith, that faith annoys us. No, we are annoyed at the fact that faith has been so poorly and unclearly defined by people in the religious world that we really don't have any idea what it is. People say faith all the time. From the pulpit, you hear about faith all the time, but it's never properly defined. As a result, we don't know what it is. And because we don't know what it is, when we hear about faith, we typically check out. It's some abstract concept. It's something we can't touch and feel in our minds. So therefore, we don't understand it. So what we want to do here today is completely dissect what faith is in a short little soundbite. So we're going to dissect it word by word because if you're like me, you need to break things down into the most simple terms in order to actually understand them. So first, let's understand the fact that the best tool for defining words in the Bible is the Bible. It's not all the time that we have a Bible definition of a word or a verse we can go to that explains another verse, but it does happen, and in the case of faith, we have one of those. A very popular verse, you probably know what it is, Hebrews 11:1. It says, "So then faith is the substance or assurance of things hoped for, and the evidence or proof of things not seen." I've heard a lot of sermons where people will quote this verse as a definition of what faith is and just stop there, thinking that that alone is self-explanatory. Now, maybe for you, maybe for some people, that'll just sit right in and you completely understand what faith is for the rest of your life. But if you're like me, we need to dive a little bit deeper into that in order to really understand it. I can't leave it at that surface level. I have to break it down in a more simplistic manner, and the Bible should be that way. It's not something where you can just apply zero effort and expect to extract any form of meaning out of it. Every other subject in life, we understand this. Every school subject, we understand this. But some reason, we started to think that when it comes to the Bible, it should just flow naturally into whatever our first impression is about whatever we read, that should be the definition. Well, that is not the case. God is not a God of confusion, but it is still our responsibility to dissect His Word and to really understand what He was trying to say, and also understand that within the context of the period of time that the message was coming to those people. So let's go through Hebrews 11:1 in 4 discrete chunks and really try to break down and understand what this faith is all about. So we have "so then faith." Now put a colon right there because we're going to proceed on. The rest of the verse is going to be the definition for what faith is. So first, we have substance or assurance, depending on your translation of the Bible. Let's go with assurance because it's a little more easy to understand. So we're going to go straight to the dictionary here to grab some definitions. Assurance is the confidence or surety in a person's abilities. So let's just cut it off there and say, okay, assurance is confidence or surety. Confidence or surety in what? The rest of the verse, or the rest of that phrase in that verse explains. It is the confidence or surety in things hoped for. So then the next question we have to ask is, okay, well, what are the things hoped for? What are we hoping for? Let's just keep it very basic today. Even though it does say things, and things implies plural as opposed to thing, let's just keep it simple. We have God and we have heaven. So we are hoping for heaven, we are hoping for eternal life, and we have confidence in it. That's the first phrase in the verse. We have confidence or surety in God and in heaven. That's one piece of faith. Now, this second piece of faith is incredibly pivotal because it goes against a lot of the modern religious idea of what faith is, where people in more progressive denominations want to break down faith, make it something emotionalistic. We're going to understand, but the last portion of Hebrews 11 and verse 1, that faith is actually a function of the evidence. That's the next piece here. So we have the first part of the verse, faith is the substance or assurance of things hoped for. The second part is the evidence of things not seen, evidence or proof. So let's look at that piece of the word. Evidence or proof. Here's the dictionary again. Evidence is the available body of facts, or it is information indicating whether a belief or proposition is true. Evidence is the available body of facts or information indicating whether a belief or proposition is true. So what does that mean? That means faith is a function of the evidence. It's a function of a body of facts. What do you mean facts? I thought faith was supposed to be some mystical, emotionalistic, I feel warm and fuzzy in my heart. No, that's not what it is at all. We understand here, by using some simple logic, looking at the Bible, that faith is built upon a body of facts. What is that body of facts? Historical or scientific evidence about the validity of the Bible, about the reality of the fact that there was a man named Jesus who lived, who died on the earth, and it is in him who we base our religion on. Now, I'm in no position to go through all of that data. That is a large chunk of data, but in the description here below, I will link a website where you can go for free, start learning, start gathering evidence, start gathering the body of facts, the information that indicates whether a belief or proposition is true or valid. Now let's go back to Hebrews 11:1 and finish up that second piece. We know that faith is evidence or proof. We know faith is an available body of facts about what? Available body of facts for things not seen. If we were to step outside of the religious world for a moment, we can easily understand the fact that there are things that we can't see with our physical eyes, with our naked eyes. Even beyond that, there are things we know that exist. Subatomic particles and particles below the subatomic particles. We know those things exist, but we can't see them. In all of those instances, it makes sense. We know there are atoms and molecules, electrons, things floating around, wind, things we can't see, but the effects of which we can clearly experience, or the effects and reality of those things have been demonstrated in science. Now, that's really fancy and all of that, but here's the end of the matter. Faith is an information, a body of facts that indicate the validity of things not seen. Now, what is it that is not seen that we have evidence of other than God? It's very simple. There are evidences in this universe, in this physical universe, that are unexplainable by natural means. Now, that's a broadcast in and of itself. Just understand this, that faith is a function of the evidence. Never forget that. If you forget everything else, the piece of this verse that is most important is the fact that faith is based on evidence, on a body of facts that indicate that our belief is valid or true. It's really as simple as that. So how do you build faith? Well, use the verse here. If faith is a function of the body of facts, then in order to increase faith, all you have to do is increase the amount of information that you have in your mind. Increase the body of facts that you have that indicate the things not seen, that God exists. Again, I will link to you a website in the description below where you can start gaining that knowledge. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe for more. Please go on to click through to the full website, read many of our articles. And as always, conduct yourselves like men.